Hey folks, and welcome into the Truck King YouTube channel. We have an exciting video because we have these two different versions of the brand new RAV4, and I have my friend David Chow from the Automotive Press YouTube channel joining me. And right now we're going to do a full walk around and then go for a drive and talk about this brand new RAV4. Let's do it,
Here
David.
we are. Let's do it.
So David, time to look at some RAV4s.
Yeah.
First, we should talk about where we are. So we're here at Ajax Test Fest event. This is a yearly event. David and I are both members of the Automobile Journalists Association of Canada. So once a year we get together and test all sorts of new cars, and they happen to have a few different versions of the RAV4 for us this year, which is nice.
Two RAV4. It's going to be fun to compare these two, and it's always fun to work with you, Steven. So yeah, let's find out what's going on with these two cars.
Yeah, likewise. And we'll try to be kind of quick because as you can see, it is raining. It's not a nice day, so we'd rather get inside. But right now we're outside. Let's talk about exterior styling.
Yeah.
And this is a massive change. I think it's safe to say, right? Like you look at this and you don't go, oh, that's a RAV4, because it doesn't really look that much like the model it's replacing.
Yes.
And that's a pretty bold move, I feel like, with a vehicle like the RAV4, which is just so widely purchased. Usually companies with cars like this, they're a little more conservative on the styling. I don't feel like Toyota did that here at all. They really went for it. I don't know. What do you think about the way it looks?
Yeah, I mean, they went with the hammerhead design, which is what Toyota is doing with most of its models. You've got the classic headlights. So headlights are similar, or same, I should say, on both models, and also same on the plug-in hybrid version of the model called the GR Sport. But the grills are very different.
Right.
And like you said, it is way more drastic change.
Right.
I like this kind of look, almost like a Lexus look in here.
Yeah, very
and
much
Woodland
so.
has a bit more of a, it's not truck, but a bit more off-road look, I should say.
It does have these integrated fog lamps in here, which are
yeah.
nice. So that is a very slick look, the way they integrate them.
It looks good, though. I like both of them.
Yeah, I guess one of the other things that I noticed right away is kind of how low and long the hood seems. You know, it's a little more, I don't want to say station wagon-ish because it's not, but that's sort of the idea I got. It's not that upright crossover look. It's a little lower, a little longer, you know?
Yeah, I mean, basically crossovers are really today's modern station wagons with a little bit lifted, height. That's it.
Yeah.
And, of course, if you can lower the hood and make it more aerodynamic, it's better for fuel efficiency. So that's the trend basically these days. Yeah.
Sure. So I think overall, I don't know if I like it yet. I'm still kind of undecided. I got to be honest. That's just my opinion. But you know what? Why don't you guys drop in the comments right now and just let us know. What do you think about the styling here on this new RAV4?
I do like the Woodland a little bit better. Just it's a little bit more different, unique.
Right.
This is too much like all the other Lexus/Toyota models we have. This kind of integrated grille now.
Right.
It still looks good actually.
Yeah.
And this brown sugar brown, whatever the color might be, looks good. And we love that new color as well that debuted on the Forerunner, right? On the Trailhunter, the same colors. Really, really nice colors. So I love that. But given the choice, I still like the Woodland better.
Yeah, I agree. I think you mentioned this off camera too. It's interesting that they went with the Woodlands edition and didn't just call it the TRD Off-Road.
That's true. Yeah.
They're kind of going back and forth between those names. But I still like that they do have a more kind of adventure-ready version, right?
And the most important thing is, how do they drive, right, Steven?
Yeah, absolutely. So why don't we hop in, get out of the rain,
Sounds
talk
good.
about it.
Yeah, let's do it.
I do want to talk about the rear seat here in the new RAV real quick as well. So this is my seating position. I stand at 6'2". I'm a tall guy, so this seat is pretty far back. And I actually still have just enough leg room. Yes, I'm kind of rubbing, but honestly, it's not bad. Loads of headroom here. The headroom's very impressive. And again, just like the front seat, kind of an overall feeling of airiness, spaciousness. So for a crossover of this size, I would absolutely say the back seat here is big enough for a full-size adult. And of course, most drivers will be shorter than me, so this person could pull up a little bit. When it comes to amenities, I'm getting 2 USB-C ports down here. I do have my own HVAC vents, which is nice. And then also a couple of cup holders right down here that pop out. Very typical. So yeah, I am glad to see that. One thing I should also mention, like I like to, is the baby seat situation. So I have lower latch on the passenger side, and we have lower latch over here on the driver's side. Now, one other thing I can show you, we do have a 60-40 split here when it comes to the cargo space. So we'll go ahead and put all these down, and then I'm going to pop the camera off the glass here so I can show you what I think is a really smart feature, and it's this right here. It's the fact that the rubber mat from the back comes all the way through. These actually go down, and then the rubber mat stays right onto the seat. So because it's the Woodlands edition, if you do have something that's nasty and wet and muddy, you're actually getting coverage right up onto the back of your seats. Now, talking about the storage back here, I showed you those rubber mats, and yeah, you're also just getting quite a bit of storage. I like to see that. You're getting your net over here, and then a little storage cubby. You are getting power up here, 1500 watts, so a real legitimate amount of power. And then I can also show you, we pop this rubber mat up, we lift this guy, just got to move the shade out of the way here, the storage bag for it, and spare tire. So nice to know that here in the Woodlands you're getting an actual spare tire. Some of the off-road and adventure versions of crossovers these days don't come with a spare, and I think that's a mistake. So thankfully Toyota did give us that. And yeah, once again, good space for your back seats, passengers, and good space for your cargo. Nice one, Toyota. All right, folks, now here we are driving in the RAV4 Woodlands Edition. And I should also mention at this point that David and I only have access to these RAV4s right now for just over an hour. So this is very much, you know, first drive, very first impressions. As soon as we can get a RAV back on our channel, we will hopefully go take it and do some real off-road testing. But yes, take this video as just, you know, very first impressions. And this is my very first time driving the Woodlands here, David.
Yes.
So
and also keep in mind these are still pre-production or prototypes, so not quite the final version. Right. Although they're pretty close to the final version, I think they're really well made. Yeah.
So I'll say the very first thing I noticed, which I kind of was talking about outside too, is the hood. It feels lower. It feels a little longer out in front of me, and that just gives the whole vehicle just a bit of a different feel. And I think lower is the best word I have for it. I just feel like it's hunkered down to the ground a little bit more. Whether it is or not, I don't know, but the design makes it kind of feel that way. But I like it. I also like the sculpting of the hood, the way the fenders kind of lift up there, because it gives you a good sense for where it ends, where your wheels are. Yeah, that's the very first thing that kind of jumps out at me.
Yeah, I think they actually made the windshield a little bit longer this way.
Sure. Okay.
And then also placed a little bit lower with the dash is lowered.
Right.
And so you are actually getting better visibility up front.
Yeah.
And the hood is also coming down a little bit. And like you said, lately all the Toyota models have the two bumps on the left and right side on the corners. So it kind of gives it a muscular feel, but like you say, also better for parking, right? You can tell where the corners are from the hood. So yeah, the overall packaging I noticed just better. It just feels more airy. The window feels a little bit bigger. Yeah, I mean, it just makes so much sense what they did.
For sure. Better visibility is the best way to put it, I think. Because, yeah, I just feel like I have a better sense for the whole vehicle around me. I'm almost a little taller, too. And then, yeah, the way the windshield is raked like that, even the dashboard kind of feels, you know, further out in front of you. But that gives you that bigger cabin kind of spacious feeling. So
kind of following the EV trend, I think, with Toyota BZ or BZ also have that same kind of design. Right. So trying to give you that very airy, open feel, I think.
Right. Yeah, and I'm absolutely feeling that. Now, from behind the wheel, I think driving experience-wise, the first thing I'm noticing is it's definitely quieter than the last generation RAV4.
Yeah, huge difference there.
Right. And I guess just NVH overall, I don't know, maybe I haven't been in the old one enough. I don't feel like the drive is that different, like suspension-wise, but it is definitely quieter, and that makes the whole thing feel just a little more, you know, luxurious, a little calmer, a little easier to drive.
Right.
I think the RAV4, the hallmark of the RAV4 is it should be easy to drive. It's one of those vehicles you should be able to get in and go and not think twice about basically anything. And making it quieter, it adds to that feeling.
Well, our family actually has a 2021 RAV4. We also own the 2020. For that matter, we own the 1997 RAV4. We kept it for 21 years, so kind of like a RAV4 family. And yeah, definitely compared to the previous gen RAV4, is quite a bit quieter. Like we don't have a tool to measure it, but it feels much quieter.
Definitely.
The ride feels a little bit softer. Just the whole atmosphere feels a bit more upscale than it used to be.
Right.
The old RAV4 really felt like kind of affordable compact SUV, but this one feels more premium, above and beyond what RAV4 used to be. I think it's a huge upgrade, I think.
So at this point, yeah, we might as well mention all new infotainment system here, and actually just an all new software architecture for the entire vehicle, right?
Yeah, it's a huge deal because it's called Arene system. Toyota has been working on it for a number of years now. It's not just a new software, but it's also hardware behind it.
Right.
It's a whole new way of connecting information and system and hardwiring that with everything in the vehicle. So it's a huge development.
Right.
And this is the first car that Toyota has with the new Arene system. And so you should be able to like do things like update over the air, and there's a lot more flexibility and capability with the new Arene system.
Right, and I even read there's some like AI that's been built in, so the system should be able to learn and adapt over time. And I think any software system or hardware system for that matter these days you're upgrading, you have to be thinking about, well, how do I keep this system relevant for 10 years, right? So they had to be able to constantly update it and make sure it, you know, stays relevant, so they don't have to go back to the drawing board and do it all from scratch so often. And just in terms of features then, and again, there's so much to dive into here, so I'll just say the first things I noticed, the very first thing I noticed is here on the home screen, we now have multiple pieces of information.
Yes,
This is something I've complained about in every other Toyota model for a while now. When you went to the home screen, you could just get your map, or you could just get your radio. It would not show you two things at once, and that never made any sense to me. Even the HVAC controls were in the screen, but you had to actually hit a button to get to them. This, it's a mix, you know, like you said, of physical buttons and on the touchscreen, but at least this HVAC bar stays there the whole time. So it's still just one press for me to adjust the temperature, to hit auto, to turn the fan off. And with HVAC, I think it should always be one press. So just straight up from a usability standpoint, it seems to be better to me right off the bat.
It's also much faster. It's got a better, stronger processor. I mean, the whole thing is completely new, right, from ground up. So that's a huge deal. But coming back to the driving, Steven, what are you thinking of, like the steering feel? You know, just the cornering. What do you think of that?
Yeah, the more I drive, I am definitely feeling like it's a little softer sprung
I think
than
so
the last
too,
gen.
yeah.
And I feel like that was almost Toyota reacting to people constantly saying, oh, the RAV4, you know, doesn't handle very well. So then they kind of went, well, we'll make it handle well, but there's going to be a trade-off there. And the trade-off was, it could be a little stiff, especially if you did hit some bigger potholes or chatter bumps or something, where this just feels a little softer, a little more comfortable, combined with, you know, being a little quieter in here. Again, it was already easy to drive. I don't want to make it sound like, you know, I don't think it's a huge step forward, but it is a step forward just in making it easier, simpler, quieter, more buttoned down. So.
Yeah, and I did notice that the steering feels a little bit heavier, like compared to the older RAV4, which we have. A little bit better sensation and feedback from the road, so just a bit more connected to the road, I think.
Sure.
Also, I took one of the RAV4s out on the slalom, or like a little test track,
Right.
and it cornered really well for a compact SUV in affordable price range. Shocking. So I think it handles better. Also, the steering feedback is better. The ride is softer. I mean, the whole thing has evolved. You know, 10% more, 15% more. Like everything is like a little bit better.
Right.
And so it's gonna sell like hotcakes again.
Okay, RAV4 plug-in hybrid on the Autocross course. And it feels fine. Let's feel the power here in the straightaway. Foot to the floor. Whoa, that was not bad. And honestly, better than I expected. When you put your foot into it, this thing really jumps. And the handling is fine, you know? It does roll a little bit through the corners, but it's also staying pretty soft and comfortable. This is just a parking lot, and it's actually a little bit rough, so just getting a feel for sort of handling versus comfort. And this is a good blend, and that's what it has to be with the vehicle like a RAV4, right? No one's expecting a sports car experience here. So Toyota has to make sure it's gonna handle well enough to make you feel confident, but also not make it too stiff that it's uncomfortable. And foot to the floor again. There was a bit of torque steer both times. As I would come around that corner and mat the throttle, definitely felt a bit of torque steer, but nothing that was too bad. Oh no, there goes all my camera gear. That's why you don't do an autocross with an open camera bag in the back seat. Oh, I wish I could say that was the first time that's happened to me, but it's not. Occupational hazard. But yeah, real nice. And you know what's actually one of the things that's coming to light for me is the sight lines. You know, I've commented about this on road. I like how kind of low and flat the hood is. And then out here on an autocross, when I'm trying to, you know, look through my corner, yeah, I just feel like I have really good sight lines, and definitely better than a last gen RAV4, which is, yeah, I like that. That's another notch in the easy to drive category. And again, that's what a RAV4 needs to be. It needs to be easy to drive. And the fact that we can see it all a little bit better now and see everything around a little bit better absolutely does make it easier to drive. So that's good.
Overall, I think it's performing better. Hopefully the price is about the same.
Yeah, I don't know. Have prices been announced yet, or there is no pricing yet?
No pricing yet.
Yeah,
so
that's always an important one, of course. And sadly, I would expect it to probably be a little more expensive than the model it replaces. But we gotta wait and see.
Yeah, especially the GR Sport one, which is the plug-in hybrid that's built in Japan. These are built in Ontario.
Right.
Yeah, I mean that would be probably the one that people want, and that's gonna be super expensive.
Well, folks, we're coming to the end of this one already. And, you know, first of all, thanks so much, David, for taking the time to sit in with me and talk about some RAV4s. You know, when it's a vehicle like the RAV4, it's an incredibly important vehicle for Toyota. And it's actually, you know, there's a lot more pressure, I think, on them when they redesign something like this, because they sell in such big numbers. You can't screw this up.
No.
And I don't think they screwed it up. I think they made the styling more polarizing, but I'm not sure it's enough to really scare people off. But then when it comes to the way it drives, the technology inside, the options, and when it comes to powertrains, I think everything has gotten better. And yeah, that's good news for all of us and for Toyota.
Yeah, I mean, it just keeps evolving, so it's better and better, and hopefully the price is similar.
Yeah.
And with all new features, more comfort, it's softer feel, more luxurious in some way, like more premium feel. Well, you know what? They're going to sell so many RAV4, but they already sell a lot.
Right. Yeah. No, I think you're absolutely correct. And we should give the shout out for RAV4 built in Canada. So
it is.
We appreciate that too. So yeah, folks, that's it for this one. Now, please drop in the comments. Let me know what you think of the new RAV4 and everything you've heard about what David and I have been talking about. And of course, don't forget to go check out David's channel, Automotive Press, here on YouTube. And yeah, while you're leaving me that comment, don't forget to hit like, hit subscribe, hit join to become a member of Truck King, and then come right back here to the channel and see what we're testing next. See ya.
See you guys.